And for those of you just joining us, thank you so much for being here today. There is a smudge on my camera. It will make a mustache if I go up here. Fortunately, I'm never there. I'm short. Don't know what happened. It wasn't there at Geeky Teas yesterday, but it's here today. And we are ready to get started, I think. Steven, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Gina Wee, this is going to be your first time hearing our actual introduction live. This is what we do every time, every ding, dang, damn time. Let's see how it goes. You ready? Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Steven.
And we are the Faint Divinities, a channel here on YouTube later and Twitch dedicated to Daggerheart. And we have been and were the first channel dedicated to Daggerheart, which is a thing I'm saying only because it's true. Since the open beta was announced in March of 2024, on this channel we like to talk about and play Daggerheart up until this point almost exclusively in the production state. However, as of yesterday, we're filming this on May 21st, we have live Daggerheart in the world, you guys. You want to do a poo 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 poo? Guys, Daggerheart launched officially. It was an incredible day. I don't know how much the too soon, Steven, LOL. I don't know how much you guys keep up with all of the Daggerheart world. I assume a lot if you're watching this, because why else would you be here? But if you saw, there was everything. We got news galore, you guys. We got, let's name a couple of things. First, there was the Daggerheart live stream from the Critical Role offices and everything. Then they announced a series of items where I think they're going to say, ready your characters or something like that. Prepare your character sheet, something like that.
Yeah.
Where they're going to, it kind of seems like a reconstruction of GM tips where they're going to tell you how to play Daggerheart, getting used to that. They also announced the Void.
Ooh, yeah, the Void. The custom cards. I can't wait for that. I'm going to be all over that.
Get your sheet together is what Gina Wee says. That's exactly what it is. Get your I just realized what that is. Get your sheet together, Steven. Do you see what I'm saying?
They're bleeping him in the commercial. It was in
it's
the
a
little
good
video.
Joke.
It's a good joke. It's real funny. And then he said fuck, and they just let it happen.
That's so funny. Guys, I didn't watch it yesterday. For those of you who don't know, the last thing that they did yesterday was a huge launch party at a game store in Burbank, Los Angeles, California, where I live. At Geeky Teas. And the reason that I knew about that a long time in advance is that I was one of the GMs that agreed to go run games there, as I have for the past year. As most of you know, I've been GMing. I'm so happy for all. Yeah, it's just a good time. But I have been GMing Daggerheart with the Darrington Press Group for about a year now, and that all culminated with yesterday. And so I was at the official launch at Geeky Teas, where there was character creation. There was actual games running. I was doing some of that in the Fae room. It's beautiful. There was lots of the game on sale, which was fortunate because mine didn't arrive until today, so I had to buy a new one. And for those of you who don't know, the thing that we're going to talk about a little bit when we're talking about kind of gossip and stuff is that although it wasn't announced before, and I think people only kind of know because of Instagram and stuff, I know because I was there. Everyone was there. Everyone was there. Half of the cast of Critical Role was there. Matthew Mercer was there. We had Sam Riegel, Travis Willingham, who, by the way, interrupted my unboxing. You can see that right now on our Twitch channel or very soon on our YouTube. I'm sure I'll make something on it. Who else was there? Not Taliesin. Oh, Liam. Liam O'Brien, who I also met, and they were all very lovely. I did not meet Sam Riegel. Probably for the best, honestly. I don't know if you can relate to this, Steven, as a GM. On the days that I'm GMing, my brain is gone.
It's gone. So, yeah, it's like a little melty pot of like hot cheese.
Oh, yes, absolutely. My brain said fundito instead of like queso or what's the one you dip in? Fondue. Yeah.
Fondue, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I met a lot of them yesterday, but unfortunately for me, my brain was mush. Travis was my favorite interaction because later he came up to me, tapped me on the arm, and apologized for interrupting my unboxing, to which I said, that has only improved it, my friend. So it was a great interaction and everything. But yeah, oh, Matt Mercer hugged me. I ate tacos with them. It was a great time. Yeah. So lots of people. Do you want to know who else was there?
Ooh.
All of the people that were behind Daggerheart. First of all, there was Spencer Stark, Rowan Hall. Oh, I met Sean. Sean Ellis, who is one of the, I think the primary artist behind all of the Daggerheart art. We've seen the Flicker Fly on this channel. He told me a secret about the Witherwild. If you go to the Witherwild section, apparently the art tells a story of an invading army. Oh my God, I have to go see it, you guys. Travis only ever improves things.
He really does.
100% Bun Riri, absolutely. Hi, Rugs. Thanks.
And the Warlock. Oh yeah, I was really excited to see the Warlock. I was like, ooh.
I love the like conversations that are, because guys, we have been like an oasis in a desert, slowly losing all of its water over the past year, because we heard about Daggerheart in March of 2024. There were versions throughout the open beta process, and then it was just quiet for a while, and now we all get to talk about everything. It's so exciting.
When it got real difficult,
absolutely.
Because as Rachel mentioned at one point, we were part of the closed beta. So it was like, for a hot second, it was like, can we say these things?
Rules.
Yeah,
we kept slipping.
Yeah,
in our actual games on our channel, sometimes you would see us like slip and not remember the rules. We are going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about the changes to the rule sets and everything. But we were Team Valor. We can officially say, I think at this point, that we were assigned the name of Valor, and we were a group. I got another coupon for work for doing that too, and it went to more copies of Daggerheart. So much Daggerheart in my life right now. Other people that were with the Daggerheart group, you know, we had Elise Resendez, we had Madigan Hunt, Danny Gage. Oh, I met Danny Carr. That was very
that's
exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, Danny. Well, I mean, I've met Danny Carr before because there's a little place in LA where we both hang out sometimes. But she's, you know, I met her and her partner, Larkspurns, online. I'm very excited to tell you guys about a secret. Oh my gosh, hugs for Great Facts. Absolutely. Oh, Riri is improving everything. You guys, Riri, friend of the channel, in our Discord channel. You should join our Discord just to know Bun Riri. Yeah, truly, just a delight.
She made the other day.
Oh, it was incredible. I love you guys so much. I want to talk about some gossip, Stephen.
Give me the cheese, man.
Okay. So we're not a gossip channel, you guys. We're not a gossip channel. But however, there is a thing. Everybody's like, duh. There is a thing here where I was surprised to see. Stephen, do you remember who has recently left Dungeons and Dragons? Christopher Perkins and Jeremy Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that they were both at the Critical Role 10-year anniversary party that happened over the weekend? Did you also know that they were at the Daggerheart launch party last night? Is anyone suspicious of this at all? Like, I don't know. It could just be funsies and nothing, but like, what if we were gonna get a module from one of these people, you guys? Or something, some engagement in Daggerheart in some way, shape, or form. We know that 10 years ago, right? They were some of the driving forces behind making D&D 5th edition 2014 module one of the biggest things that ever happened. Now, Critical Role had a huge thing to do with that. Stranger Things, all kinds of stuff, but Critical Role. But what if now at the end of the line, they were like, we've done what we can do here. What can we do there? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Even if it was like minor engagement, like it just like you said, like a module, Like, you know, like it'd be cool if like maybe if they like release an expansion book because they're already talking about releasing new content for it and everything. It would be very interesting to see them kind of like have some splashes of
Mm-hmm.
their creativity mixed in with
Yes.
Spencer and Rowan and all of those guys over there that are already like killing it, you know?
I know. Well, also like Stephen, I had the thought today. I don't know why I'm so dumb sometimes. I've been sad for a while because I was like, oh gosh, Daggerheart's about to launch and be live, and then me and Stephen will be out of a gig. We won't be able to talk about Daggerheart anymore because it'll be out there in the world. And then it was literally today that I was thinking of all of these things. I was like, oh my gosh, what about this? What about that? And I was like, we're going to have more to talk about because it's live.
Because it's live. We don't have to whisper in the secret darks when we go offline and y'all can't hear us. We say all the secrets.
We say all the secrets.
Anything we know,
do.
at least, you know.
Well, a lot of the people, again, in our Discord are, yeah, see, Lasombra, yes, write it. Perkins and Crawford, DH collab. Guys, it's just, I mean, probably, you know, I know that they are all work associates, and this was a big thing in tabletop. They're tabletop people, but you have to assume that they want to do some. Hi, Crit Hit the Giant. So good to see you. So excited. Oh, Crit Hit gave a very wonderful demi-plane first look over on YouTube. Go check that out. I was also GMing at a friendly local game store, though, where Crit Hit is over there in Indiana. But yeah, I know that it's gossipy. I know that it's founded on nothing.
The Kickstarters,
but
once they start doing some of that stuff.
Oh my God, Care Bear Dare. Are you kidding me? Like, we haven't even talked about that. The homebrew, guys. The homebrew floodgates are all open. Anybody who wants to get something started, get me some magic items that I can add in, because there is a lot of room to grow in this system.
The custom cards,
The custom cards.
Yes.
The custom cards.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh. Jaw drop.
Yeah. The Faint Divinities Daggerheart collab. Yes, Lasombra. Yes.
You're so smart, Lasombra.
You're so smart. Someone should hire you to hire us for, you know, like, yeah. Care Bear Dare, just to talk about that Kickstarter piece just a little bit more, 100% agree. I cannot wait to see everything rev and roll in terms of those items because I want all of it. Doesn't it feel like, I don't know how long other people have been playing tabletop, but this feels like the way I felt in the early days of D&D 5th edition when I started playing like 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm so excited again. That's too much. I have to bring that way back.
No, you're good.
Excited.
You should be that excited. I enjoyed it deeply.
Thanks, great. My cat is like begging to be let. I'm gonna let my cat. I'll be right back. Nobody leave. I have a hairbrush. I'll hit you with it. Steven, talk.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much good stuff that came out of yesterday. Like, it was just one thing after another. The custom cards, the Void, the Warlock, the Fighter, like all of that stuff just was like
June 6th, right? Is it June 6th that they're releasing the custom card template? I think
so. They said a few weeks. They said a couple weeks.
Oh my gosh. And then guys, the 29th, next Thursday, it said, Lasombra says, nope, dial up, not back. I got you, Lasombra, I'm here. Okay, so next week on, what month are we in? My brain is fried. May 29th, we are going to get official on Thursday night Daggerheart content on the Critical Role channel in Age of Umbra, which we can all read about now because we have the PDFs and we have the books, we have everything here, and it's going for 8 weeks, 2 months of Daggerheart content. You guys want to hear my next, like, it's immediately combustible. This argument holds no water, but do you want to hear it anyway? My next little conspiracy theory.
Please hear it, actually.
Okay, you ready? They're running Age of Umbra. They're running Age of Umbra for 2 months, okay?
Yep.
Well, what are they going to do about that? Everybody's like, campaign 4, but they have 6 campaign frames. 6 times 2 is 12. What if they did a year of just the campaign frames? And then what about the end of it? They were like, Well, we just want to know, which one did you like the best? We all got to vote and be like, we liked. I don't know. I know that doesn't hold any water, but other people are excited about it. Dang phone
Well,
keyboard.
and I like where you're going with that, because like it is really much like, oh, listen, the crew really liked this, but what did the audience like? And then the audience is like, we all really liked this one, and they're like, you know what, expansion on the setting, and they like kind of delve into it a little bit deeper and do some stuff like that. That'd be so killer.
It'd be so good and so fun and so fresh and so new, and it would teach people to play Daggerheart. And like, I don't know why I'm just getting, maybe my brain was in the wrong place for so long, but I'm getting hit after hit of like, of course this is what they're gonna do. Of course, the day that it launches, Matt Mercer is gonna start talking about how to play Daggerheart, because the draw and the allure of Matt Mercer on his own means everybody's gonna go there immediately. And sorry, I'm getting so loud and so excited again, you guys, but I just truly am. I truly am. So yeah, interacting with the community as always. Yeah, it's just so good. Oh my God, you guys. Okay. There was a panel that happened, by the way, at the launch event as well. It was a very long evening. We were running Sablewood Messengers. It wasn't the full thing or anything. I met a lot of the people at Geeky Teas and everything, but there was a full panel where the whole development group spoke about the game. Really fantastic. I was not there because I was preparing for my games and stuff, but I am friends with lots of people who were there, so they provided me the recording and stuff. And some of the people that I know were there and everything, watching, and basically the things that you know. Congratulations, everybody. We're just beginning. We're just getting started. So many things to come. Did anybody see the, you know how when you go to an event, there's a place to take photos, right? There's always an event place to take photos. Did y'all see the card cut out?
Mm-hmm. The
it
guy
was like
what was it? Summon your party or something like that?
Scheduling. It was like a scheduling ability that was like scheduling with your party is the most difficult part. Yeah, exactly that. Man, it was so beautiful. I actually have pictures on my phone that I took for other people and then forgot to get pictures of my own.
Isn't that how it always works? It's like, yes, I'll take your pictures, and then you get done taking pictures, and you're like, now back to the things I have to do, and it's never actually...
Big dummy, you guys. I'm really bad at remembering to pick up my phone when I'm at these like events where I could prove that I was around these very illustrious people. But yeah, everybody from everything was there. It was so much fun. I met so many new friends from Geeky Teas. You know, I met, I'm just going to call them out here because I loved them so much. Darby, Sam, Fitz. I saw Eric a lot more, who is just always delightful. Eric Campbell, who is, I think, he is something marketing and events director or coordinator or manager or something over there at Geeky Teas. He's great. He was lovely. He also enjoyed his tacos. That was it. I think we need to start talking about the final version of Daggerheart. Steven, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So first, do you have the listing of changes? Because it was very brief and very hidden.
No, actually, you'd mentioned the change list, and as I dug and searched, I couldn't find it.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to read this from the Discord, okay? There is, for those of you who don't know,
it was on the Discord.
Well, it wasn't. I think it's on the website too. I just don't know where it is. But for those of you who don't know, Darrington Press has a Discord channel. If you're like, how do I find out all of the secrets about Daggerheart and all of those things? The easiest answer is go to where the nerds are hanging out. The nerds are hanging out on my channel's Discord and the Darrington Press channel Discord, not necessarily in that order. One of my friends throughout the open beta process, the XZ man, what's happening?
Yes, Crit Hit.
What happened, Crit Hit? What is it?
Darrington Press has a Discord channel?
Yeah, I know, right? Some people don't know.
Fair.
Even now.
Yeah.
So, The question was, and again, it's on the website, how has Daggerheart changed since the open beta? They said, we did so much to take the game from its last public version in 1.5, which, as you know, we played extensively, to the game you see today. Below is a non-exhaustive list of updates, and when they say non-exhaustive, they mean it, because it starts off with final balancing on all classes. Well, that tells us nothing. That doesn't tell us anything, you know? I do think that the Guardian didn't see any additional nerfing. I think that they were nerfed pretty strongly for 1.5 from the 1.4 iteration, if I'm remembering correctly. Druid, I know the animal companions, or sorry, the what am I thinking of? Their shapes. Yeah, they're beast forms.
You know what? We have the book here.
We have the book. We were never able to do this before, guys, especially not in an easy way. But yes, we absolutely can reference everything. But yeah, like, oh my God, look, you guys. Oh, the disrespect. Have you guys all seen it yet? I think you have. Look at that beautiful GM screen. Look at that smudge. It's ruining my life. I hate you, smudge.
It's awful. Here, I will, and then I'll show you without the smudge, because I also have.
So shiny, so glancy.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Steven, we waited so long to have another one of these, like a new systems one of these. Oh my God, it's so good. If y'all want to hear me talk at length about it, go watch the unboxing. I'm not doing that here today. I've already done that, and there are lots of people who did it better than me. Go watch whatever you'd like. But the shapes for the druid, oh God, you guys, I know that I don't need to just show you stuff after stuff, but look at all of the art. It's so good. I hate that smudge. It's really killing me. Listen, I don't think that we could get like bogged down in a lot of this, Steven.
I know, I just want to see it.
I know. So some of the beast forms that I was really excited about
in the book, by the way, if we haven't mentioned it already, it's just
have
a beautiful artwork.
I know. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous book full of like the best
magic goblin. I love it. I'm gonna just leave it there for a second.
Focus. We have to talk. Okay, so the thing that I was glad to see with the druid, because they had so many beast shapes and everything, beast forms, is that they kept those hybrids in there. I loved the hybrids because they gave you like kind of details for you to add additional features. That looked changed to me because you could mark stress to deal with hybrid features and stuff. We're going to go into that later, but guys, at the legendary level, and which is tier 3, and at tier 4, the mythic hybrid, you have the ability to transform your creatures in, or whatever, who knows, maybe it's like a sorceress that you're transforming into a manticore or a sphinx. And you just mark stress.
Mythic hybrid! It's there.
My God,
it's beautiful.
You guys. Oh my God. Anyway, your druids are gonna be really good because they can mark stress and become these mythic hybrids that you can be, that then you basically get to kind of just choose the options from the other beasts and add those advantages and features to make something really incredible, you guys. I was very glad to see that.
Druid is also my wife's favorite class, and basically anything she can play, she'll want to play some kind of nature-y thing, and Ranger's cool for her, but she wants that just extra level. Druid's normally that extra level.
Of course she does. Gina Wee says Druid is my favorite class in almost any system, and absolutely. Gina Wee also said, so I've heard that book smells really good. Is it true? Stephen, would you like a well-timed sniff?
You ready? Just full of good smells. It's a nice smelling book.
It's weird, but like I have found out that a lot of us are smelling our books. I saw it on Lou Boffin's unboxing first, after I had already opened my box, by the way, and I had already sniffed it and been like, that's so weird. I sniffed a friend's because they got it first. I was like, can I? And they were like, yeah. And they also knew what I was saying. Anyway, we're gonna leave that alone. We're not gonna talk about smelling books anymore. But I heard the book tastes great. Is it true? Says Crit Hit the Giant.
No.
I don't have my standard edition. I'm not tasting this. This is limited. I can't lick it. I've already started, you guys, putting my cards into their little wrappers. I need to get so many more. But I've already started putting them into their sleeves. Crit said no. Yeah, Crit. We're not doing it, Sean. Maybe later. Yeah, the book smell is fantastic, you guys. I do want to keep going through the change list, guys, because we got stuck. All cards balanced and edited for clarity. Thanks, guys. Update to hope and fear mechanic. Now, I think a lot of this is going to be details around the things that you can and can't do with fear. A lot of it is still the same. It's just different. Like, you can still use hope for the experiences. You can still use hope for the class hope feature, which, remember, was added during the open beta. It wasn't in 1.2 that we first saw. Nope. That's still there. The ability to tag team roll is still there. It still takes 3. All of that is still true. There are, however, some changes to, I think, how you earn fear, especially. Fear, you start with a different count. I cannot remember the formula at this point. It used to just be, there are details around the maximum that you have for fear and the formula. Somebody in the chat certainly will tell me what it is. Absolutely. Sleeving. Yeah. But the fear is... The bigger difference to the fear is actually going to come out in that combat functionality, which I don't think we need to talk about right now because it's going to be very soon. Let's talk about the armor mechanic. Steven, tell me how it worked in early iterations of this game.
So in the early iterations, if you had an armor class...
This is the wrong version now.
This is not... Nothing is correct. Everything I'm saying is a lie. In the earlier iterations, you had an armor class of 4 and you got hit by 12. You could diminish that damage by 4 a number of times of uses of your armor slots. And I believe it started at 6 and then worked its way up depending on what you chose at level. But that is no longer the case.
No. And this was I want to note that if you follow Daggerheart stuff, this specifically, when people talk about what was a breakthrough mechanic for you, Spencer and Rowan will talk about Spencer basically pacing in his office, just down on the ground and having a eureka moment with the armor. Because although it was cool functionality, it was also the thing that bogged down the system the most. It was not at all agile with that. It wasn't light rules. It was complicated, and it had, most importantly, a lot of math that didn't make sense, you know? So now what's going to happen is, and I can show you guys with my sheets because I have them. So whatever number is in, smudge, whatever number is in your armor, now it is going to represent the number of armor slots you have. If it's 3, perfect. Thank you. If it's 3, you will have 3 to expend. Each time that you get hit, if it falls into one of these thresholds, which it should, if you get hit, it will fall into one of these thresholds, you can mark 1 armor slot to reduce that threshold by 1 threshold. You cannot use multiple occurrences. You can only use it once per hit, okay? So if it's in the major... What's wrong? What happened?
My camera's mirrored. It's all backwards for them.
Oh, no. Oh, it really is.
I didn't think about it.
All right. What's happening? What did you do?
I've been fucking with shit.
Stop fucking with shit.
I know.
Okay. So, for the armor, this is huge. Guys, if you have a hit that is major or severe, you can use 1 armor slot, mark it off that time, and drop it to the lower category. You can never reduce it to nothing unless it was minor and you're reducing it by 1 to 0. And this has a lot. Oh, yeah.
You can only use 1 armor slot per like chunk of damage you're receiving. So You couldn't
Yes.
use multiple to reduce like we were able to in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, in open beta, you could use all of your armor in one go to knock it all down to 0, even if it was a severe hit. You can't do that anymore. So
Yeah.
that's a big change.
Which
Absolutely.
we
Yes.
felt in the closed beta. It made combat feel more intense because you couldn't just, oh, well, I don't take any damage this round. Most rounds, if you're getting swung at, you're going to be taking some amount of damage,
Yeah.
which makes the combats more, and you're more invested in each round of combat because you're more invested
It's more
because you are
dangerous.
taking damage almost all the time.
Yeah, it's a more dangerous combat system.
Mm-hmm.
I was on Enter the Pocket Dimensions channel, I think a week ago. God,
It
guys, it's
does.
been some crazy. I think about a week ago, and I said that I think this is going to mean we're going to get more of a cinematic system. We're going to see more of those death moves that I really want to see. What is
Mm-hmm.
happening now? God, I'm missing out on everything because I keep looking away. Matt wants characters to die so bad. He does. We've never had a TPK in the history of Critical Role. No matter how much it is sung about in the lore, in the songs, in the legends of old, we've never had it. It's Age of Umber time, you guys. It's the time for death. I want a meat grinder campaign. I'm really ready. Ooh, Gina Wee, that's a great point. It makes increasing your thresholds more important as well. A very good point. Yes. Okay, so the next one, update to damage thresholds. Now, I cannot remember what 1.5 specifically had. Let's talk about some of the things we saw throughout open beta. At one point, there was a minor threshold that was a numeric value, and if
Yep.
you swung and hit, but then did less than that damage, you still didn't hit. That was taken away a long time ago. I think generally what they're speaking about now, though, is details around what those levels are for different classes. So as a reminder, guys, your minor, if you are hit, you are always going to take at least minor. That first blank spot, if you hit equal to or greater than that, you will take major damage, 2 hit points. If you're the second number equal to or greater than that, you'll take 3. Hit points do not work in this system the way that they hit in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It's not a health pool of points that you'll subtract from. They work like Legend of Zelda heart pieces, and how heavy the hit is depends on how many heart pieces you're losing, okay?
Yeah.
So that's the big one there.
To make a point, unless you're wearing no armor, your thresholds are determined by your armor. So unless you are being a big necky baby, as Rachel loves to put it, you have a preset amount of threshold, which I believe is like your level doubled is like minor, and then or your level is your minor, and then and then the next one is your level doubled unless you have a specific card that does increase that for wearing no armor. But for the most part, it is all dependent on your armor now, is what your base thresholds are set at. And then the shields and such will increase your score as far as your armor score. The armor itself also sets your armor score, but it will actually also set your thresholds. Oh, you're muted, Rachel.
Sorry, and I was saying such kind things. Gina Wee, how are we not friends already? You have such good knowledge about the way things work, and oh my gosh, you're incredible. Gina Wee says, having it apply off of armor is much more thematic. I agree.
I do too.
And it helps you decide why you would take armor instead of just you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Because before it was like, how
concept.
much can I defend myself? How much armor can I have to
Yes.
really bump up that score so I can reduce as much as possible? But now you're like having to look at it for 2 points. Like how many hits will I be able to use this armor for, and how effective is the armor?
Well, and it all goes back to this system in the early stages of open beta, it forgot itself. It forgot that there are 2 areas that you're working off of. It's not just armor class like it is in D&D 5th edition. It's evasion.
Yep.
If I roll, I'm trying to beat your evasion score. If then I beat your evasion score, I roll to see how many hit points I utilize, which drops it. I actually think if people like the way that a real world system feels, this feels real to me. You're evasive or you're not, and if you get hit, let's figure out how hard you get hit. That depends on how beefy you are. That's made up by your thresholds, which is class determinant, and then your armor, which is armor determinant. I think this is a beautiful system, guys. I think this feels real.
I think the thresholds are purely off armor. I don't think it is off your class.
Oh, is it not?
No, just your evasion, your starting evasion and your starting hit points are determined by your class.
See what you're saying. Got it. Well, guys, again, I was saying this yesterday at launch. I'll say it here again. The system's been out for a day. You're going to have to excuse me a little bit. Even those
two heads of the brain here. We're bouncing off each other.
Yes. We share a brain cell. And it's Steven's turn today, Thresholds are based on your armor plus your character level. We are gonna have to linger and look at that a little bit more. Closed beta data lingers like a foul odor. It really does. Okay, so we need to move on. We have to move on. So next item, update to damage thresholds, which we just talked about. This next one is a biggie. This was contentious, okay? The action tracker, guys. This is gone. The action tracker is gone. It is no more. Now, for those of you who don't know, what the action tracker was an additional card that you put on the table when combat or a tense scene started. And basically, any time that characters acted, you added a token. I have so many new tokens, you guys.
Oh, the
you added a
tokens are so
token to
pretty.
the action tracker. You have them just in your hand.
They're here. I have cards in my hand. I have dice in my hand. They're so
It's just
nice.
all here. We got to be careful to not clickety clack all over the place. But oh my god, I want to. I know. We both immediately were just clickety clack monsters.
I really just like the dark ones, the black ones.
I love the onyx ones.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the action tracker, guys.
Yeah.
You would place an action token every time you acted as a player. When turn went over to the GM, they could then use those number of action tokens to determine how many times they got to go. They got to exchange them for fear. It was, in my opinion, a really helpful training wheels functionality. That, however, is gone. That's gone at this point. What is happening? Your face always betrays a comment that's happening. A woodworker made you an action tracker, Greyfast. I am so sorry.
It hurts. Also, yes, the clickety-clackety rocks. Not even math rocks. Just pretty clickety-clackety rocks. Yes.
Oh my god. Lasombra. Are they not edible?
No, you should not be eating them. You'll have a rough time in a couple days, but it'll be fine.
It's fine. Also, Lasombra, earlier you said that we have 6 versions of this game in our memories, 1.1, 1.2, 3, 4, 5, and release. I don't think technically we played 1.1, but I appreciate you for giving us the yes. No need to apologize. Thank you so much, because it was killing me. Oh my god, yeah. So they go yeah, so oh my gosh. Gina, we and Crithead, y'all need to be friends because y'all were both at PAX last week. So incredible.
Very cool.
Yeah, so now let's talk about how it works now, because this is what people were like. They were like, well, if it's not going to be determined by actions, how are we determining it? And it all goes back, guys. It's been reduced. It's now back to hope and fear, which Duckburg, if you're here, you and we were action tracker girlies. We really liked the action tracker and we were sad to see it go. But I think at the end of the day, I understand the reason for it. And I think I'm on board. I get it. So now it's just going to be, as the game starts, a GM will have a number of fear. Players will have a number of hope. As game progresses, you accrue hope and fear based on what's being rolled at the table. It's a constant interplay of spending hope to do things, spending fear to do things, gaining based on rolls. When combat, or again, a tense interaction happens, no longer does the action tracker matter there. You will allow things to move forward based on that hope and fear.
Yep.
Players turn over play to the GM either when a failure rolls or when fear is rolled on the dice.
Yep.
That is the GM's automatic way. Why do I get balloons sometimes?
I
don't know.
That was lovely. I enjoyed that greatly.
Sometimes I do this and it does a big thumbs up for me. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, the play will turn over to the GM, and then they get to basically activate adversaries the number of times that they want to, based on what amount of fear that they have and the way that the adversaries works. Most can only act once. Mm-hmm. And then you turn it back over to players. If you can activate multiple times, you'll have to spend additional fear. It is a clean and simplistic system with just the hope and fear mechanic. Steven, from your perspective, having played in the closed beta with that, what are your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Yeah, I mean, it puts more weight on every roll. So when you do have those like intense like battle scenes, you guys might hear my cat yelling at the door right now. Yeah,
we do.
He's gonna have to just deal because he'll come in here and climb on the computer.
Can't have
I can't have it.
Can't be done.
But yeah, no, it makes those attacks and it makes those like spell cast or anything that's going off like that feel so much more heavy. Because you're like, ooh, even if I roll well and I succeed and I roll with fear, these things are about to start swinging on us. And as I said before, you take a lot more damage when you can't just negate out of all of the damage coming at you. So it puts more pressure, not necessarily pressure, but it puts more weight on the rolls, which I love.
Rolling with hope yes.
Yeah. I love feeling like, okay, if I do this well and it happens well, someone can follow up right behind me and try their thing. It does. It's very inducive of like making sure everyone gets a chance to do something before you're like, oh, I'm going to do this and then this and then this. And trying to like own a table, which, most players are going to like be very open with like, taking turns. I mean, it's something we learned as children is like, we should take turns.
That's how I do a lot of my conventions. When I start talking, I'm like, if there's any conflict, and it's very rare, but whenever I say there's no initiative system, sometimes there'll be someone who's like, well, then how do we know it? I'm like, because we've all known how to take turns since we were like children, mm-hmm. and we're going to do that today, and it's going to be fine. And if I need to correct someone, I will,
Exactly, yeah. If you catch someone doing it like unnecessarily, like if they're playing a lot, and they keep doing stuff, and you can see other players at the table kind of being like, well, I really haven't gotten a turn in a while. It is on the GM to correct a behavior, and it's on that player to then kind of like take that information in and be like, oh, well, yeah, I have been doing a lot. I'm sorry about that. Let me take a step back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. First, I do want to note, Lasombra saying a D12 emote would be great. That would be, yes, agreed. And a hope and a fear emote. Yes, absolutely. We need to get those up and running. I will work on it. Don't you worry about it. Yes, absolutely. I actually think that, I was going to be like, I think I'm going to have more time. I don't, but I know way more artists these days. So I think I'm going to be able to do it. Do I do my own emotes? So far, yes. But that means that I took art that our lovely artists created, and they're in our Discord as well, by the way. And I just reframed them, or
To
in the
chase a
case of
cat away,
me
I'm
making
sorry.
dumb faces, it's fine, it's
He's
fine. Or
this
the
bastard.
ones that are stupid faces, yeah, I just found stupid faces we made, and I made she knows people. Yeah, incredible. Yeah. So yes, I make the emotes, but like, it's just tiny screenshots. But anyway, so I do want to talk about, though, that issue of if people are taking all of these turns and stuff, right? There is a new optional item which is called out in the changelog, which is a spotlighting feature. This is specifically like, we've talked about this before. Now, again, the action tracker is gone, but you can always use it at your tables if you want to, you know? But alternatively, you could give players tokens to use and say, okay, each person gets 2 or 3 tokens. And then as you go, you do it. They're not part of the economy. It's just when you're all out of tokens, oh, well, now you have to wait for everybody else to spend theirs before you can do anything else. Yep. Most tables are not going to need this. But, you know, if you have a rambunctious motherfucker, you might, you know. Like, ooh, very good point. See, yeah, Crit Hit the Giant says that he used the tracker last night. It helped with a larger table. Absolutely. Yeah. I can 100% see that. Ooh. Oh my gosh. We might have to talk to your D20 monkey friend, Gino Me, to see if we need it. Yeah, absolutely. Oh God, Bun Bun Riri, it's time to get in there and start learning to GM. It's a great system to try it in.
Well, and it's so like forgiving for GMs too, because it really is like collective world building, and I love that part of Daggerheart. And like sometimes it can feel a little intimidating when you're like becoming a GM, of like, well, I want to deliver that Matt Mercer effect or that Brandon Lee Mulligan effect, you know, is like, I want to like deliver these rules that are really invested and like people are going to love and play. But honestly, unless you have a lot of extra free time, you just aren't. Like, you just aren't. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this game helps a lot because you're able to build almost a skeleton of a world with some flesh here and there, and then as your players are investing with you, you guys build that world together. You really get so much more into taking little bits and giving little bits of your own minds to make this world very unique and very much all of yours at the table, and not just one person's like baby, if that makes sense.
Yes, 100%. Hey, you know what else will help with that? Let's talk about a little bit more of these changes, the changelog. The next one we're going to go through very quickly, which is spelling and grammar check. Nobody cares about that. Let's talk about additional campaign frames added. Because, Stephen, you just said, oh, not everybody has the time to build their own worlds, to do their own things. We have 6 campaign frames. And have y'all gotten a sniff of them? Because they're so good. Oh my God, this book, it was just made so well. I am used to some books lately that have sucked. They've just had nothing of interest in them. I didn't give a shit about what was. I want to spend the time that I took as a child when I was first learning about like Greek mythology and stuff. I want to go into this book and look at everything. I love it so much. Have you looked at any of the campaign frames yet, Stephen?
Yeah.
What's grabbing you? Which is the one?
The motherboard.
Yeah, sorry, I'm losing it again.
It is.
Okay. Is it because of the circuitry?
It's because of the circuitry. That's 100%. It's just so involved in like it sounds crazy because you're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, but they like have a language.
What is it?
It's so cool. I'm finding it now because I want.
What is it?
It's just
the smudge again. What is it? I feel like, are any of you guys old enough to remember TV before it was like Netflix and Hulu and everything, and you'd be eating your bowl of cereal like on Weird Kids. Go watch that show. It's so good on Beacon. But you would eat your bowl of cereal and the commercials would be like, tune in next week, send in your box tops, and we're going to send you these magnifying glasses or something to decode the code. It also happened in that movie, A Christmas Story. And this made me want, like a tiny little child, to go in and decode this for myself. Do you know when the last time a book made me want to like study was? Every book I read. But this one, wow, I need to understand what it means. I haven't had time. I've only had it for like 12 hours, and most of that I was working. Anyway, Steven, it's this one, huh?
Look at this. You're
Are
building.
You PDF showing?
Oh yeah, I got it up. It's got like it's just so. So I watched a lot of Futurama growing up.
Me too.
And Futurama had an alien script where it was just like a random alien language, and then over the course of like the couple of years of that show being out, people deciphered that language and then were able to like use it. And as soon as I got the key for it, and I was writing in Futurama language, this just like itches that part of my brain that hasn't been itched in so long, of like, oh, I could just like literally leave the answers to like clues and riddles and stuff right in front of them and make my players work for it, you know?
So good. And I think they might be invested in it. It's like Lord of the Rings, Tolkien writing his language of the elves. I do want to say a high shout out to Master Tia 221B. Hi, so happy that you're here with us and everything. Speaking of old tech, flashbacks to the origins of texting, absolutely. And I did also think it was very funny saying, Gina Wee, did you just open some sort of engineering diagram? You put an engineering book inside of Daggerheart, didn't you?
They did.
I was like, it's just so good. Yeah. I am excited about things what is happening now. Growing up, I'm so old. I was married before Futurama came out. Greyfax, listen, you are still like the rest of us, at least a child at heart. We're all getting old everywhere except for our hearts. Okay?
I worked a big long shift today. As soon as I got home, I was like, my knees, my back.
My knees, my back. I know. I have more cereal in my house right now than I have in the last decade because specifically of Ashley Johnson and Taliesin Jaffe eating it. Okay, great. So yours is Motherboard. That
yes.
One, it's the circuits for me, dog.
The circuits, but the whole bit of it, of like even like scrapping like robots, like robot kills and stuff, things that you take out, like taking stuff away from things and like building on yourself, and like it's so cool.
The augmentations. Colossus of the Dryland has index cards for you to like attack different parts of the beast. Steven, your campaign is going to work in this system.
I know. Well. As soon as I saw that,
moving cities. Did you see the moving cities?
The moving cities, yes. Yes, I did. I want to show that like, the cards, like you were saying. I'm just oh, here it is. This is beautiful. They're just like straight up there, like just lay out some cards and then you attack the different parts. Love it. I love it so much.
It reminds me of Campaign 1 when they were fighting up the Colossus. Do you remember that? And they were like going through its chest and shit. You guys, I have not freaked out about a book this much. I think it was the D&D 2014 player handbook. I think it was the very first one. When I got it, I was so excited, and it really was so good. It makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, Shadows of the Colossus in Daggerheart. Yes, absolutely, guys. And that, so back to the original point of all of this. Not every GM, Bun Riri, you might not have time to build a whole world. These campaign frames give you so much more and in such a digestible way for just throwing something together really fast. Because, like, for example, even I've never really had a strong basis for how to build a political campaign. It's a challenge. Matt Mercer has talked about this before. It's a challenge. I didn't know how to set up all these struggles. 5 banners burning makes me think I could do it. I
Yes.
could do it.
Yep.
Mike Underwood also. I love Mike. I see Mike at some conventions and everything. The designer of the 5 banners burning module. This is so good. Long brewing tensions between rival nations boil over, threatening all-out war. And it gives you all of the different nations. It tells you how you might act depending on your community. That also influences NPCs that you're going to build, right?
Yep.
It's going to tell you if you have someone who's a loreborn. Well, they're especially prominent in Polaris, meaning where are they from? Polaris. You already have details about them.
And that
It's
helps
so
with like new
good.
players too, people that haven't played the game before and kind of get overwhelmed in writing a backstory, because some people have a hard time creating a backstory for a character if their brain isn't mentally prepared to do that. And having something like this where you could just be like, oh, that's kind of what you're thinking, well then you're probably going to be from this place, and you know, we can
Yes.
help kind of flesh your character out without you having to think a whole lot about it.
Yeah, I think this is gonna I think the thing that I keep wanting to say about Daggerheart, the thing that I want to say more than anything else, is that I think in the same way that Daggerheart Play at Table says, hey, why are you hiding stuff from your players? Let them easily adapt to your table. Let them know, let them feel strong, let them feel cool. Give them the secrets of
Yep.
playing. I think Daggerheart gives you the secrets to playing and GMing.
Yep.
And I think it does it in a way that you that are going to get started GMing out there for the first time, who've always been intimidated by the 50 years of history that Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition has, I think you're going to read this just because it's fun, and then you're going to know how to GM without even thinking about it. And I don't care that that sounds too grandiose. I actually believe that.
Well, and
I think this is a
I'm
good fucking book.
right there with you, mainly because this is a singular book that has a lot of player information, GM information, monsters. You're not having to buy 3 separate books, which is an intimidation factor to anyone that's like getting into GMing or anything. It's like, oh, I have to buy one book for my players, and then I have to buy a book for myself, and then I also have to buy this whole other book with the monsters and everything in it. Yes.
Yes, and it felt so much like they are walking the walk of what they say they believe in, which is, we want to get more people playing. Do you know how overwhelming it was? I'm so sorry. I don't want to make a hate channel for like Dungeons and Dragons, because you guys know that I love D&D.
And I love it
loved
too. Like, you know, once you overcome that hurdle, it's not a huge, you know,
No.
intensive thing, but it is a hurdle. And a lot of people failed to get into it because of that hurdle.
Well, and then let's talk about the thing that happened next. When they then were like, hey, we're gonna release a book every year. And then it started getting more and more frequent. And the first one was good. The first couple were good. We had some good one, like Xanathar's.
Oh, yeah.
Xanathar's was sick. You know what I mean? Even Tasha's Cauldron was good. You know, like we had some good stuff, but Bixby's, the Giants one, they just all started, it was like you were watching them get smaller and smaller and smaller, and they were the same amount of money, and the covers looked better and better, but it became an EA Games module.
Well, and like, my problem
with
with it was, I love books, and I love having a collection of books, a large, like, I have multiple bookshelves in my house where I have a large collection of books, but it became so tedious to have the books that I devolved to just getting on D&D Beyond and just buying digital.
Absolutely.
And like, there's nothing wrong with that. I personally enjoy digital because I can get it on my iPad and I can have quick access to whatever I'm looking for. But it just, took away from it in some ways, in my opinion. Still, like,
Yeah.
and again, don't get me wrong, I love digital. Like when I
I like the
play D&D,
physicality.
I
Yeah.
play with a digital character sheet 9/10 of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it's just, it makes it feel more containable and more manageable from any standpoint, player, GM, or just onlooker that wants to buy a pretty book and kind of like read about it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I would buy this as just like basically a bestiary. Colossi busting out of the old dusty trail. Giddy up now, says DM Chaotic Goof. Hi, Jean. How's it going? One of the GMs, again, who was there at the launch event with me. Stayed out later than I. I had to go home and go to sleep. But yeah, it's so good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I truly, and I want to focus on the thing that Gino Wee is saying. You're allowed to love more than one system. That 100% that, and that really is, again, my big focus on Daggerheart is that I want to have less of a monopoly. I want people, because even people inside of tabletop RPG, they don't know that there are other systems. They're hesitant to try other systems, and people outside of tabletop RPG don't know that anything other than D&D exists.
Right.
I
Or
want something.
the two major heads of like tabletop RPG for the longest time were Pathfinder, D&D. And like
Yep.
those are great systems. There's a lot of fun to each system.
There are so many 10 Candles, Blades in the Darks, lesser known, like smaller versions
Why
of
not
tabletop
just
RPG,
kind of like get up
Alice
there?
is Missing.
And I think Critical Role does a really good job because you know, they introduce a lot of these on their channel to players that probably had never heard of them or anything.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And then through
Well,
Darrington Press, they're now going to be able to release those kinds of things more frequently.
yes. And they're not going to have to contract with the like it's just theirs.
Yeah.
I think that the floodgates are about to open so wide with the number of people who are going to be excited about creating for Critical Role, excited about working in a system that has been very friendly to end users and players. I think we're about to get so much that we are just there, you guys. I love all of you guys. All of you talking about all of your different systems that you play. GURPS, Great Facts, Crazy, Malefax? Malifaux? I don't know that one. Shadowrun. Fantasy Age, says Gina Wee. I used to play a thing called, what was it called? I was about to say Dice Throne. Roll Masters. Not my favorite system, but that was the oldest one that I played. A very crunchy system. I talk about it all the time. Okay, we have to go back because we've talked about the campaign frames. Now, additional adversaries added. Guys, they look so good. I was talking to Sean Ellis about all of the adversary art that he put in there. That glass snake that you guys fought in the swamp, Steven, it has gotten so good. It's so good.
Yes.
I love it so much. I know that we don't have to talk about the adversaries. That's going to be one of the things people love to peruse on their own, but God, it's all so good.
I am going to show it off real quick. Hold on.
Show
you
it
can
off.
keep talking.
Keep talking. Adversaries and environments were balanced. That makes sense, guys. Again, another GM tool that they have in this system is that they have all of these different like Lego building blocks to just make something happen. You want a combat to happen? Great. Here's an adversary and you can put it in this environment and just go crazy with it, you know? We're going to talk about battle points later, but I love that it has this facet. Now we're going to talk about something that made me really sad. I have fear and I have hope. Steven, the locations were removed.
What do you mean?
Have you seen the Kinnikos and Jags? Have you seen Jindalia?
I did.
Have you seen the Soul Sunk Sea?
Gone.
It's all gone, you guys. It's all gone.
And it hurt my heart too because I was like, oh, because like now either we'll have to get together and like homebrew to fix up. I lost 2 forms of armor in that change.
Oh my gosh! What's the Kinnikos and Cockatrice now? What is it? Y'all just fought the Kinnikos and Cockatrice. Is there a different kind of Cockatrice? I sound crazy. What is it? Oh my God. No, I didn't even think. Oh my God, who's she? Oh, oh, by the way, guys, we heard during the live stream that there are 3 genders in Daggerheart. There is Big Lady, just a little guy, and Baby Girl. Now, I feel like she baby girl coded, but she could also be just a little guy. I really like her. I want to make a tier list of the hotties, but I feel like that's going to be rude. The hottie art, I just want to showcase all the fine ass ladies in the
Took me too long to
system.
find it. Go ahead. There are. And again, I saw someone say it earlier, and I'm sorry, I'll have to go and find who said it. But just the art in the book. That's what I did the first night. I worked all day. I had a lot going on the last few weeks. I got home from traveling, and it was waiting for me. So I opened it up, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to read anything because my brain is mush right now. And I just looked at pretty pictures for like an hour, and it was just very cathartic of just like, oh my gosh, there's so many great artists out here, and you know get caught up in like the standard feeds.
Steven, I'm having a lot of fun.
Are you?
I just want you to know I'm having a lot of fun with you right now. This is so good. We're just like, me and Steven used to do this shit all the time when we lived together. We would just sit talking about our fucking nerdy hobbies. This is such a good time. Keep going. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, and there's so much good art in this book. In the frames and the monsters, with like the new art. Oh my gosh, and like not to even drop the art on the cards. There's so much beautiful art in the cards now, and I'm a cardie. I played Magic the Gathering for years, and now even still, I'm like every once in a while, I'm like, oh, I'll just buy a pack of Magic. Who cares?
Do you know, it's coming back. It's coming back, you guys. I do want to say, for those of you who were also sad about losing all of the not the environments, I'm so sorry, I don't remember what it's called. For those of you who are sad about losing all of the locations, you know, the Sablewood, Jindalia, all of those things. First of all, Greyfax makes an excellent point, which is that, stop it real quick, I'm finishing, then Big Nicky Baby, keep him there. Keep him there, don't put him away, he's hot. Okay, so so the locations there were still, I think you can still get access to the open beta manuscripts. Guys, I gotta tell you, I'm putting stuff in Jindalia, and I'm putting it in there soon because I love Jindalia and I will need to have it. It had some of my favorite stuff in there. I will have to do a rest in peace for that because I was very sad to leave it go. But that's the fear part. The hope part for me is there's no way they're just getting rid of all that. No. What if that's the next compendium is locations? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, and like
show me your big naked baby.
We already are. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this fellow. Oh yeah. Oh, he's so pretty. But he is big naked
Who's the
baby.
artist on that one?
Let's see. Simon Pape.
Yes, who is, by the way, you know, I say that Simon Pape, and I have no idea how it's actually said. You want to see another, I don't know, guys, tell me I feel like they can't speak for themselves, so we'll have to assume the gender may be a little bit on our side. I say baby girl, I say big lady. I say big lady energy going on here. Love her. I'm doing like my influencer hand this. Made by Letitia Freitas. Oh my gosh, there are so many good cards. I love them so much.
You got support tank. You got yourself a big old beetle guy saving his little friend.
You sure do. Yes.
It's just great art.
I want to find the butterfly lady, but I don't remember. Oh, you know what? I saw that. I was like, oh my God, this is very good. This is from the Rogues Shadow domain. I can't remember what it's called, Jesus. But the Uncanny Disguise art.
So good.
So beautiful.
And I think you showed this art last night, even. Probably. But the bold presence You got your two pretty ladies.
That's the one. That's the one that we all love. There's a big lady and there's a baby girl. There's both in that specific picture, you guys. Now Stephen, I think we should give ourselves like a couple of weeks to go through all the cards, and then we should do like a top 10 for each one of us. You know what I thought we should do? Listen to this. You ready? A hear me out cake with Daggerheart
cards. Well, then they'll all be on the cake.
Yeah, I know. A hear me out cake has to have like not the hottest ones. It's got to have like here,
the hear me out glass snake.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like hear me out.
The Night Terror fella is a good one. He's a good choice.
Night Terror? Bud Riri says yes. Yeah, 100%. So anyway, guys, the cards are beautiful. You can see that some of mine are starting to get sleeved. Stephen, I know that there's no way that you haven't oohed and awed over that glint. Oh, that golden glint just on the limited edition.
Glorious. Just, Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's the only part that I don't like about putting the sleeves on. Is I was like, but the glint's got to be reduced a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so we got distracted there with cards for a little bit. We have to get back. What sleeves do you recommend? I'm clueless. Stephen, do you have specific sleeves that you would recommend? I usually get mine at a Bun Riri. Do you have a game store near you? And have you ever been? Because if you do, it is the time to go immerse all of you. You have to be a present, participating person in your game stores, even if it's just to walk in and peruse a little bit. But honestly, any sleeve is going to work, any standard sleeve. These are standard card size, so you can just like search online. We don't mention Amazon.
There's so many pretty ones. On your question though, Rachel, I'm a heathen. Nothing gets sleeves. I'm touching the cards.
Oh, I know that about your Magic the Gathering. You're getting all your little hand oils on it.
I am, and I can't help it. I'm so sorry. But I love the touch and feel of having actual cards. And I won't be like shuffling these, so they won't get as like wrecked as like a lot of my cards in
a Magic the Gathering deck. Yeah. So Bun Riri, this is the only thing I'll say. I would say that the card itself doesn't matter, but I will think of two things specifically. One is that consider if you want to have them as individual cards, like I just showed some of them in sleeves, but they're still individual separated cards. Or we saw yesterday, so these are in sleeves, right? So they're protected and everything in sleeves, individual cards. But we saw last night on the live stream that Taliesin put his into a card binder. There are pages that are like this from Stephen, where you can have all of them together. It's not as useful necessarily for playing, but it's so good for organizing.
Very good for organizing. I do actually use that for playing most of the time.
Because you know what I do? Because you can make a sheet.
I can make a sheet with it now, especially with the way the cards are set up. Having that set up, I can have my heritage, my community. I can have all of my cards there, and then on the back side, or I'll put the cards I can't use at a time, because you can only have 5 cards from your library active at once.
I feel like I need to go get a thing. Can you entertain people just very briefly while I go get a thing?
I can definitely entertain. One of the great things, and I brought this up to Rachel, with the dice that came with the sets. So the dice, lovely, beautiful purple, and purple's my favorite color. This looks so blue in this right now, but they're purple, believe me. They have reshaped the D12s for Hope and Fear. They're not shaped like a standard D12, and it's just so good. It's like, why not change it up a little bit to make it unique from your standard D12? Because it size-wise about the same, but the edges are all diamonds instead of the pentagrams, or the
crit hit says I don't love the different shaped D12. Now why not? You don't like a unique time? They just don't feel good in your hand.
Hey, listen, no judgment. If you don't love them, that's fine. I find it a very interesting kind of setup for that. Now to say I won't use my other D12s like I normally do, because I am very much a you did bad, you get punished kind of player.
Oh, me
So
too. God, yeah.
you
The
roll
dice
bad for
jail
me a
is
few
real.
times. I'm gonna set you to the side and use another set. But it is something that I was just excited to see, that I got a whole set of dice and then 2 specialty dice with it.
Yeah. I did hear, by the way, actually from I've heard from a lot of dice makers. So dice makers are struggling right now because of the tariffs and everything, you know. A lot of dice are cast in China because it's just where it has happened for a long time. So a lot of dice makers are struggling. Critical Role actually has very specific Critical Role dice that were announced and everything, or sorry, Daggerheart dice that were announced with a yellow and a purple hope and fear die, and there weren't nearly as many created as they thought there were going to be. I think Geeky Tees had something like 5 sets because they couldn't get them. But yeah, Steven, should we just, while we're talking about the dice, should we do a little roll right here just to have a little fun? You know, okay, great. Okay. Mine is an 11 with hope.
I also got hope. I got a 14 with hope.
So close. Oh my God, you guys.
The
So
very
good.
first roll, because, you know, I got a new set of dice. I had to roll them. And you might believe me, you might not. I rolled double 12s with the very first roll.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I was like, these are the dice. I love them. And that might be some of the... I have a little bit of favoritism when dice do really well on my very first roll.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So, the thing that I went to go get, I don't feel like some people understand how much I played Dungeons and Dragons. Some people I don't think believe me. Okay? But I remember and still have them because I tried so desperately to get them. They were sold out a lot. Yeah. But at one point, D&D started making cards. People are like, oh, Daggerheart doing this crazy thing. D&D got into this business a while back too. They just couldn't actually do it successfully because, well, mostly because they kept having wrong things printed on the cards, which is true of these. They say a lot of wrong things. I have lots of them, you guys. I have the cleric cards. I have the bard cards, the druid, the arcane, the paladin. I have a lot of them, you guys. As a comparison, because I bet that very few people can do this, I bet very few people can compare a Dungeons and Dragons spell card to a Daggerheart spell card. Let's see, why don't we, huh? This is the back, right there. You have a Daggerheart card, and this is a pretty good card. Now, I would say that's good. Let's make it, you know. Now flip it over. Look at the comparison, folks. And I had to pay so much money for these. So much money for these. Look at how beautiful, how little text there is, because they have... Anybody who's like, I don't see how they've simplified it. It seems like a very complex system. This is Speak with Animals. Mm-hmm. It's one of the easiest spells in the goddamn game. Look at all of those components. You have the casting time. You have a range, the components, V and S. If you don't know those, then you'll have a struggle there. Verbal and somatic. I still know what it is. Of course I do. But that is difficult. The duration of it, and then just a wall of text. A wall of text, guys. Versus, here you go. This is a spell in Daggerheart. So easy. Steven, we have a question. I'm question for you. Beastbound Companion. Make a spellcast roll to connect with your companion and command them to take action. Spend a hope to add an applicable companion experience to the roll, of course. On a success with hope, if your next action builds on their success, you gain advantage on the roll. Okay. All right. Does this mean you need to roll and succeed your spellcast roll first, then take an additional action to have them take action? Listen, that is a lot. That is a riddle. That's a very long. My brain is falling apart halfway through. On a success with hope, if your next action builds on their success, you gain advantage on the roll. Does this mean you need to roll and succeed your spellcast roll first, then take an additional action to have them take? No, no, no. I don't think so. I think the spellcast roll is to connect and command, and then the next time you take a turn, if you're doing something that is also kind of in supporting action, then you get advantage. Yeah, that is So I that is how I would interpret that. I think that's correct. Stephen, agree?
I would say so. I'd have to play.
Really dive into
So
it.
yeah, and I think one of the things is like it's tough just
Yes.
reading it without practice. And it's one of those
Yeah.
things that you could interpret it a number of ways while reading it, but um, I feel like overall it is something you'd have to use in practice. And overall, what Lasamra Dark just said, I feel like the role gives you a free attack.
Yeah.
That's how we've been playing it. And I don't think that's wrong. I think that's what I see and how I play it. They wouldn't overcomplicate it for any unnecessary reason because it is still you have your actions and then your companion has their own. I treat it almost as a second character when I'm playing my Ted and Bill.
Yeah.
It's very much that
Of
like
course. I think
anything.
it should be.
Yeah, Ted does. He attacks. I use Ted stuff. If I use an experience from Ted, I use Ted stuff. If it's
Yeah.
Bill, which he has his own set of experiences and stuff, I would hold that to the same standard, especially in the terms of how turn order happens now. If I
Yeah.
rolled with fear with Bill, then
Uh-huh.
that would turn over to Rachel. Or if I rolled a failed success, I also think that would return over to Rachel.
Yes, exactly what Gino is saying. That's the whole point of having a companion, I think. And this is the point, is that Daggerheart, by the way, I have sourced this from a lot of GMs. We all agree. It's not necessarily everyone's favorite, but if we're talking about the best class that Daggerheart did in terms of tabletop role-playing games as a standard, it's the Ranger class. It made a companion that feels like an animal that's there with you.
Yeah.
Instead of it being this weight that you have or this not fun thing that makes you forsake your turn so that they can go instead, it is just another thing that you control on the map and on the field. And you don't feel the weight and a burden of a companion. We love Bill. Bill's an MVP.
Yeah.
And he levels up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other huge
Of
thing
course he
that they did
should.
really well is they made it to where it wasn't purely dictated on you gaining a couple levels in Ranger and then your companion gets better. No, every
Yeah.
single time I level, Bill levels.
Yes. Bill levels. Yes, Gino, the Ranger isn't a joke in this system. And it
Even the
is.
Wayfinder,
It's
like
indeed.
I've read through both like
Yes.
subclasses and they're both fun. They seem like they'd both be fun to play.
Yeah, no, they've done a very good job. I do also want to very briefly note, Care Bear Dare said the D&D cards are what make me feel meh about cards, and I agree. I spent so much money on them, and I remember when I first got them, I remember being a little, but I was such a D&D fangirl that I was like, well, I'm still gonna try to use them, and I did. Our players liked them because they didn't have to flip through books, they were good.
And like
but
in the beginning when they first launched, I think it was a lot better, and then as like you started catching some of the like missing verbiage.
That's the problem.
Or,
that's what Care Bear Dare is saying, is every
Mhm.
time a player brings one of those spell cards and you find out that it has half of the language on it, that changes the way that it works.
Yep.
I think, was it Moonbeam that is a different spell. It's
Mm-hmm.
a different, it functions, and it's broken, I think, as a
Mm-hmm.
spell card. Like, you have to have the book anyway, which, by the way, happened to us again when we got D&D Beyond, and it happened to us again when they took away the 2014 stuff and gave... I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It's very hurtful to me that they kept fucking with my money that I was willingly giving them. It was very annoying. I was very frustrated. I love D&D. I do. But they made it hard sometimes. Where is that animal companion? I like the crit and fumble decks. I don't know those. Oh my God, but I love that. I'm looking for the animal companion sheet because I wanted to show it, but I don't see it. Do you have it? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, great. Let's show it.
Oh no, I mirrored the... You know what?
Oh, I found it. I found it.
Okay. I thought about it like
Mirroring.
right as I was pulling
I'm
it out.
not.
But...
Even the smudge. Nobody cares about the smudge. Everybody cares about your mirroring. Such a gross smudge. Look, this is the character sheet for the ranger. Oh my God, you guys. Look at all of these things that are just for him. He gets his own experiences. He has his own attack stuff. He has training. You train him. You spend time with your little friend, train him to do stuff, and then, oh, he can be your hope. You get additional hope that you can mark because y'all are so bonded. Or, oh, he's vicious. You increase his damage dice. Oh,
Yeah.
so good. I love him. Oh, so good.
Yeah, and that's something that I
would
feel like when you have Crit Hit said that the kid played a Beastbound and their animal companion was an owlbear.
Cute.
It's a fun thing, but like maybe as you're launching the game, you could launch it off as like a more of a cub, like an owlbear cub, and then as you progress in level, it gets a little bigger and a little bit more vicious, and things like that.
Rafe. In our home game,
yeah.
our ranger, played by Zedia, I love you, Zedia, I miss you. She played Cambria, a ranger who was a half-elf. She looked remarkably like Vex, despite her never having watched any Critical Role.
At all.
And she had a little animal companion named Rafe. It was a fox who she rescued from a lab. And later, I had to make up mechanics to make it good. We used the Unearthed Arcana, and then I added functionality for the animal companion to get functions, which felt like the training, by the way. At one point I was like, you're noticing that it's getting bigger and you could keep feeding it to get it bigger, or maybe if you want to watch its weight. And she decided to like, I think she decided to make him bigger, which I made him a rideable creature. Versus if she had kept him smaller, he was going to get more flight abilities and stuff, because he was kind of being a hybrid creature that was mixed between like a flying squirrel and a fox.
Which, like,
Tabletop
worked out really
RPG is
well
great.
for me because I was the barbarian of the group, so I had a little fighter with me, and it was
God,
really,
always
really
advantage
cool
on your rolls. It was annoying, right? It was great. It was great. It was fantastic. Okay, back to the topic at hand. We were almost through the changelog stuff. So, Homebrew Chapter removed will be coming in a homebrew kit soon, guys.
Barbarians for life.
It's coming soon.
Crit Hit.
Barbarians for life. Barbarians for... Yeah. Steven is a barbarian at heart, I think. And Crit Hit, absolutely. We know Crit Hit's a barb. I got a lot of barbarian in me, too. I'm always a pally main. And in this system, it will be a guardian, I guess. But Seraph is close. But yeah. Next piece, added running NPC guidance. That's going to be very helpful. I think very early on, we identified an issue where it was like, what's that guy doing? The guy in combat who's an NPC, and you're like, oh shit, well, I don't there are lots of details around that. One of the easiest things is let them give advantage to your players as they're fighting and stuff. They help trip the opponent. The biggest one that I want to talk about is the battle point system, guys. So the battle point system is something that was introduced in closed beta. And so that you guys have some details around what we did. I'm not going to go into like a ton of detail, but basically they asked us to run a campaign, not a real campaign. They really just asked us to do combats. I just made a campaign because I like to do that. They asked you to run combat at every level and then have your players level up using the game as written, and then do a combat at level 2. Beat the combat, level up. Level 3, beat the combat all the way up to level 10. So I've taken my players, except for Justin. Justin was busy that month, so we had our friend of the channel, Jordan. So wonderful. One of my favorite campaigns I've ever GM'd. It was so fun. But yeah, we played that through in a very fun thing that I'm going to try to get written and released for people to play at some point. The battle point system is what I used to make it possible for me to make all of those combats. It is so fun. I think I can really represent it pretty easily by showcasing the GM screen, because on the GM screen, you can see this middle section here. And by the way, it's in the book too, guys. It really is. I'm just showing you for purposes here that it has details in here about how to calculate how many battle points you should have, which is basically the formula is just going to be 3 times the number of PCs in combat plus 2. Yep. So if you have 4 players, 3 times 4, 12, plus 2, 14, you have 14 points to use. It's tier specific. So you go to the adversaries inside of that tier, and then you select adversaries that use those points. For example, it tells me right here, first, if I want to make it an easier fight, well, reduce it by -1 if you're making it a little bit shorter, or -2 if you want to use lots of solo adversaries. There are those kinds of details. And then a solo, which is a big guy meant to be taken on usually by himself, maybe with some minions or something. Well, he's 5 points all by his itty-bitty self, you know, not usually itty-bitty. Or a support. That's a smaller adversary type, only costs 1 point. So if you wanted to make a combat of 14 adversaries, go crazy. Use 14 supports. I used that all the time for doing this when we were going through the closed beta, because I could spin up a combat in about 15 minutes. That's the thing, Stephen, that allowed me to write a whole campaign for our closed beta process, is that quick. the making the combat, woof, throw some battle points, throw some adversaries.
Over like 5 or 6 days, right? We did that pretty quickly. No. Oh, no. It was.
They gave us like 6 weeks or
That's
something.
Right.
They gave
us
like, yeah. I think they started with 5 weeks, and we were like, we're gonna need more sessions than that. I think it got ramped due to stuff, but yeah, like it was so fun.
Yeah,
it was an incredible fun.
Great question from Care Bear. Did you find that the battle point system was balanced with the magic items? Because we did, as we leveled, we got new magic items every time we leveled.
Yeah. I was trying, because it was, the rules were pretty loose in terms of what to do specifically. They just wanted to see, and then we gave a lot of feedback afterwards. I let my players use a lot of those magic items. I absolutely had them take new armor and stuff. I gave them the bigger health potions, the bigger stamina potions. I am a full function GM. I built environments into my stuff. I built traps. They were well-designed combats. I think the battle system is very well built.
Because even in those, like as a player, even in those like later fights, the beginning fights, like I had mentioned, you're getting hit a lot, so it feels like ooh. In those later fights, very where scary. In like in Dungeons and Dragons, for example, when you're a level 20 character, you feel like One Punch Man. You feel like I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tear through this person, you know, especially when there's me and 6 of my friends, 5 of my friends. We've all got these magic items. We've all got this stuff going on. It still felt scary. That last fight was, clutching my pearls. Ooh.
Well, and Gina Wee asked, did they die though? Yes. Yeah. Because this is part of the reason I have to have a campaign to ground my combats, and so I wrote a storyline in it. It was a little bit of an isekai, if anybody's familiar with. So I basically made them all heroes, and they were running through I'll release details around that later. But basically, if they died, I brought them back. I wasn't gonna give them the scars mechanic because I wanted them to have full use of like hope and everything. But yeah, no, they died. It was very cinematic. Now, they were really good at staying up. It is at those high levels, the combat in this system is so fucking good. The way that, and I didn't have time to look at all of the player stuff. So I was surprised by all the stuff that you were doing. And I was coming to these battles and I was making it progressively more and more difficult ones. I was adding more +2s and stuff going in. And I started building them out really heavy. And I'd be like, they are going to die just immediately. And the player mechanics and abilities go the fuck off. It truly was the most fun I have had in so long playing tabletop. That combat was crazy.
It was a lot of fun. There was multiple enemies that like it was like, oh, I'm gonna just push through this guy, and then it was like, oh, I'm not.
And for a frame of reference, the final combat, because we did 2 combats per time that we met, and we met for about 4 hours each time. 4 to like 4.5, because we also had a little bit of story going on in ours. Because the game was like, try to keep it pretty tight and everything, but we wanted to have some story. The combat encounters were all pretty consistently at like an hour to even the level 10 one, I think was like 2.5 hours. You guys know that for a max level combat in D&D, that's 6 hours. That's a 6-hour combat.
Yeah.
So it was great. It was so good. Isekai, I am going to let you know when I make that so that you can see it. Yeah, like Bugbarian. Oh my gosh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the battle points is fantastic. I will also say there are improvised adversary details so that, oh, you're at tier 1 and your party is there in the middle of a tavern and they swing on some guy. Oh, cool. Use this quick little, I'm going to call it an algorithm, but it's just an equation that tells you this is the guy. Steven, what's happening?
Genoe says we have been in the same combat of our D&D game for 2 months.
Genoe, I don't know if you're in the Discord, but I'm going to need you to drop some details about that, because I can't imagine a combat going for 2 months. Do you only meet once per 2 months? We were on the same day for 3. Every other week. Okay. That's kind of what happened to us.
Yeah,
we say we were in the same day for 3 months, but we were off for like 2 of those. So yeah. Okay. Fantastic. I love that. Okay. Strahd's basement. Is that what Care Bear Dare said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible. I love it. Yeah. The last one is added a section on building your own adversaries. Yeah, this game, they've already been so clear. If you haven't looked at the gaming license and stuff, they are so down with Homebrew. They want it. They're recommending it. They're advising it. And they are giving you tools to do it.
Yeah.
I love a good call to action. My call to action for all of you homebrewers out there is, please don't just throw bullshit spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Please don't just try to get the thing out there as fast as you possibly can without worrying if it's good. Please try to make good, strong, solid stuff for people to use. This is a game system in its infancy. We all know that a lot of people just want to throw garbage out there so people will buy it.
Yeah, and another thing is, like, you'll see a lot of people, especially in these early days, I'm sure, because of the way they were treating the playtest of like, no, we don't want any kind of like homebrew. There's going to be a lot of people that already have kind of had stuff just waiting in the wings for these moments, and now that they're getting some clarification on what things look like now, they're going to be able to hopefully retweak some of this stuff and have stuff out pretty soon.
That's why I think that the card isn't coming out, and the card template, I think, is coming out June 9th, if I'm right. Somebody correct me in chat if I'm wrong, but I think that that's coming out June 9th. And my own hypothesis on that is I think it's not I think it's not happening until then to give people time to read so
Yep.
that then they have something to put in there. Wait, do you guys have a Discord? We do. We even have, if it still works, a command for the Discord. Let me go ahead and do that real quick, and you should be directed and deposited. There we go. Come join. Like, yeah, absolutely we do. Yeah. So there you go, guys. Yeah. If any of you are watching this later on YouTube, by the way, please come talk to us on Discord. It's our favorite place for keeping up, and it's going to be really important now. I had to start kind of chilling out on some of the stuff in 1.5 because I was like, I could feel myself integrating too heavily into a system that I already knew from closed beta was dead. I was like, I can't keep talking to y'all about this armor thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, so much fun. Man, yeah. Steven, we have been going for an hour and 45 minutes. Now, the front half of that was us scampered around the house, getting water, you know, getting cats, dealing with stuff. But realistically, I know that we were talking about building Ted out. I think that we're going to have to save it for a different day.
Yeah.
I think that our group is all going to be here on Sunday to talk about our characters. Because we haven't moved any of our PCs into the final version yet. And all of us should have our copies of... I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I just have to chill. All of our copies of Daggerheart, all of us should have them at that point. And then we're going to rebuild all of our characters together for the final iteration of the party. And then we're going to go fight some shit in what I've built as an Underdark.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think Sunday is going to be a fun one because there is going to be a lot of. Oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? But I think we've been doing this with all of you guys. Some of y'all have been here longer than others, but we want to have that experience with you guys on camera. Obviously we could go off camera, we could build our characters and get that stuff done ahead of time, but I myself, and I think Rachel would agree, is that we feel like we should have that experience with you guys because we aren't just about playing Daggerheart, we're about teaching. We want to be able to kind of like educate people that want to come here and like look stuff up and be able to like really dig in and say, oh, okay, on episode, I don't know which episode we'd be on at that point, but on this
be 23, I think.
23. They went live with the new system and rebuilt all their characters, and we can go and watch a handful of people, me and Justin having been playing a lot of role-playing games for quite a while, and then Chris and Kayla having basically grew up on Daggerheart. And then they'll, so they've been playing for quite a while now too, but it's still just that, like, it's a fun kind of way to experience that character creation is through multiple sources like that.
I'm just realizing 2 of our players have never built characters in an official game system before.
It's all
they've
been
only
playtest.
built it in Daggerheart, and it's all been playtest. And now everybody's getting the real deal. I'm so glad we did this, Steven.
Yeah, me too.
This was fun.
Yeah. I'm glad that
year.
Yeah, and thinking back to you shooting me that text and then us calling and having that first phone call about it all, and just been like, yeah, let's fucking do this. Like, if you're gonna do this, I'm on board. Let's do this. Let's find people who want to do it with us, and let's do this. I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the last year without having this to kind of like interject into my life at different periods of time, because we have been off and on. People have lives, and we don't expect people. We're not we're not making bank off of this, so we don't expect people to just drop everything to be here every week. But we're really appreciative to you guys that have kind of tagged along with us, even though we've had those long breaks and stuff like that. And once we get going again, maybe we can maybe we'll get back into the rhythm of running and being more frequent with our plays and everything. But also,
Yep.
we're just so thankful for you guys on top of just like
Yeah.
me and Rachel getting together and like, they're like, hey, you want to just be nerds again?
Yeah. Now we have more nerds that we get to talk to about it. Just like Gina was saying, I was so happy you guys were live tonight. I'm excited to get back into this with my friends. Yeah, we are so happy that you were here tonight. It's delightful.
Yeah.
It's really, I can't imagine, so many channels at this point, they record all of their stuff and then they release later, and I understand the value in it. I
Yeah.
really get it.
Yeah.
But I, at this point, really couldn't fathom doing this without having people here able to like chime in and be friends and stuff. I think it's so fun. I'm so
It
glad we
is.
do it.
It's so
So.
much fun because again, the game is a very like we get to like help the DM kind of influence the world, and sometimes, guys, y'all say things in chat that influence us
Fire
to
jar.
influence exactly. It's like stuff like
Fire
that.
jar was audience
It's so much
participation.
fun to be able to like have you guys help us play the game, and it's a really great time.
Yeah, it really is. So thank you guys for being here. I had so much fun tonight. I'm so excited this system is out. Steven, do you want to do the marketing corner?
Of course, of course. If you guys didn't know, which some of you didn't, we have a Discord and we're pretty active. Now, Rachel is pretty active. I will say I linger in the shadows and I read everything you guys post, but I have two small children and I don't always get around to posting again. My quick fire, hey guys, that's pretty funny, ha ha ha, and then you won't hear from me again for a month. But in addition to that, you're watching us live on Twitch. We're here. This is where we post. And then shortly after, it moves to YouTube, and it's there as well. We also have Twitter. We don't use it as much as I should. I'm supposed to be responsible for the Twitter.
Maybe we're using it the right amount, given who owns it, you know?
Right, maybe. And then Instagram. We post some stuff to Instagram every once in a while. So if you guys want, get out there, follow us. We're there. We're around. If you look.
Yeah. We're never too difficult to find us. and yeah, we're just happy that you're here, and we are very excited. Happy Daggerheart Day, a little bit late, but Daggerheart Day to all who celebrate. And we will see you in just a few days.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll talk to you very soon. Roll with hope
and fear.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, should I say the thing that I said?
Yeah.
I told someone when they were playing at the store yesterday, I hope you roll with hope more often than is fair, and that you only roll with fear when your life needs adventure.
It's awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye.